I hereby summon all my imps. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. I'm doing the next 10 cards alphabetically, which for us is going to be the Mage cards. We're going to start off on what I believe is the worst Mage cards, and remember, these are my opinions. Please do not do anything based on them. The worst Mage card, I believe, is Vengeful Visage, which is the 3 mana card that says, after an enemy minion attacks your hero, summon a copy of it and attack their enemy hero. There's 2 different problems with this. Either A, they're going to do what they do a lot of times with Paladin, and they're going to throw in like a 1/1 first, so you hit them back with a 1/1. Or B, they're going to hit you with like a 10/10 and you're going to die, which means that the secret's not going to pop. I don't know what situation you're going to be in where an opponent's going to throw a 7/7 at you and be at 7 life so you can turn around and kill them with their own 7/7. I'm sure it's going to happen once in a blue moon. This is basically going to be the equivalent of like a get out or an eye for an eye, because this is basically the same text as eye for an eye. It's just you get the minion at the end of it. So you have to deal with the minion that they just attacked you with. So it's eye for an eye with an upside. And eye for an eye didn't really see play. Next up for us is going to be the 9th card. The 9th card is a Suspicious Alchemist. The Suspicious Alchemist is a 1 mana 1/3 that has Discover a Spell. If your opponent guesses right, they get a copy of it. It's a 1/3, it's fair stats, it's gonna find you a spell. A lot of times you don't care if your opponent guesses correctly, if you just need the spell. A lot of times you can just pick a weird spell that your opponent's not going to guess correctly and just have an extra spell in your slot to throw down somewhere in the past. You also have to watch out for this for Wild with the Time Warp Mage, because there's some stuff in Time Warp Mage where this is going to help out a lot, and you're just going to be able to get something in Time Warp Mage and throw this down on one and be okay with it. I mean, Time Warp Mage is running some really weird stuff right now, and this is fine for it to take out some stuff in Time Warp Mage. Next up for us is going to be card 8. 8 for us is going to be the Chatty Bartender. Chatty Bartender is a 4 mana common spell that's a 4 mana 4/4. It has, at the end of your turn, if you control a secret, deal 2 damage to all enemies. This is a good card. You can have a secret down before you play this. You can have a secret down when you play this. You can play this with a secret. It's going to deal 2 damage. After that point, if this lives at all, you can deal 2 damage again if you have any kind of decently good secret. It's not hard to have some secrets that are hard to pop. It has pseudo taunt. As soon as this is on the board and somebody takes that first 2 damage, they're going to kill this. So it's almost like having a taunt on the board. Next up for us is number 7. Number 7 for us is the Frozen Touch. Frozen Touch is a 2 mana that deals 3 damage and infuse adds another Frozen Touch to your hand. I'm gonna go out on a kind of a limb here and say that the second Frozen Touch also has the infuse on it, so you can get the chain going if you're willing to wait. Or you can just bullet to deal 3 for 2 and then deal another 3 for 2 if you infuse the first one. So it's a decent spell. It's direct damage. It can go face, it can go minions, it can go face then minions, it can go either or. It's decent damage with a slight upside that you can bank later down on the turn. Again, you might have to watch this in Time Warp Mage. This might just show up in Time Warp Mage, but Time Warp Mage doesn't play a ton of minions, so it might not. But you gotta be careful about anything that adds spells back to your hand for Time Warp Mage. Next up for us is going to be number 6. Number 6 for us is the Orin Mansion Manager. They are the 4-mana 3/5 that after Farming Secret is revealed, cast a different mage secret and gain +2/+2. The only issue that I have with this one is I'm not sure how it's coded. Because I'm not sure how it's coded, I'm not sure how it works. It's either decent or broken. Because there's 2 different options. Let's just say Ice Block. I know Ice Block isn't in the game. But you play let's go Frozen Armor. If you play this down, the Frozen Armor is revealed. Do you then get a counter spell down? Because if you play this down, and your opponent plays something to trigger the Frozen Armor, and then you get a counter spell down, that's broken. If you play this down, and somebody plays something to trigger the Frozen Armor, and instead it becomes counter spell, that's not as great. So again, if it's the first option, it's broken. If it's the second option, it's okay. But there's not a bad option for this, because one secret getting triggered on this makes this a 5/7, and if another secret goes down after that point and triggers again, that's even better for you. You can get some weird chains going either way. Next up for us is number 5. Number 5 for us is the start of the calcazon and the skeletons, which is a really interesting sub-mechanic for this. I think there might be a Skelly Mage that comes out of this. This is the 6 mana, deal 2 damage to all minions. Summon a 2/2 skeleton for each one that's killed. It's Consecration. It only hits minions. It's basically, if you kill anything along that way, you're going to get a 2/2. It's not that hard on turn 6 to work out the board. It's almost a weird version of the File with a way bigger upside. It's nice on 6. It's a little heavy, but it's the same price as Blizzard, and you were playing Blizzard on 6. It doesn't have the frost to it to freeze all those minions, but it's a Consecrate. Consecrate you would play with 4. This is a Consecrate with a way bigger upside if you can figure out how to do the math. Next up for us is the next card on the Skelly Mage, which is Cold Case. Cold Case is summon at 4 mana, summon 2/2 skeletons and gain 4 armor. 4 mana, gain 4 armor is about fair. Getting +2/+2. Gaining 4 armor is like the equivalent of 2 mana. Gaining a 2/2 skeleton is the equivalent of 2 mana. You get another 2/2 skeleton out there. Let's say that's another 2 mana. This is like 6 mana for 4. And it's going to help with your Skelly Mage down the road. It's really good. It's really fair. It's not a bad card. It's going to help a little bit with the aggro that's going to come at you if you're playing Skelly Mage. Those skeletons are scary. I'm just going to take a second and just show the skeletons. Skeletons have Death Rattle, deal 2 damage to a random enemy. That could go to a minion, that can go to face. And the good thing about these is these cards are actually going to be in the set by themselves, just alone. And the fact that you either have to, they're almost like mines for Rogue, where it's like you either have to deal with them now and take 2 damage, or you have to deal with them down the road and take 2 damage. The only saving grace is you might have a minion that can absorb that too, and that's your saving grace on that one. Next up for us is number 3, so we're into the Bronze Medal. Bronze Medal for me is the vocation card, which is the Nightcloak Sanctum. The Nightcloak Sanctum is the 3 mana, 3 charge vocation for Mage that has freeze a minion, summon a 2/2 skeleton. There's going to be times where somebody plays something scary and you're just going to be happy to have the freeze. There's going to be times where you might even freeze one of your own friendly minions just to get the 2/2 skeleton, depending on where you're at. Getting a 2/2 skeleton isn't the worst thing in the world. Freeze has never been something that you should mock. It should never be something that you discredit, of having something just not be able to attack with a turn. And you get the 2/2 that was going to help you trade back with whatever was scary that you didn't want attacking you. Number 2 for us for the bronze medal is going to be the Solid Alibi. Solid Alibi is a 2-mana mage card that says until your next turn, your hero can only take 1 damage at a time. That's basically the equivalent of timeout. That's almost ice block by itself. Your opponent, it's a Bulwark of Azzinoth with infinite charges for a turn. All of those cards have seen play. All of those cards have been ridiculously good in the past. I don't think Solid Alibi is not going to see some play. And the number 1 card for us is going to be Calcazon, the Inevitable. I love the fact that Calcazon is coming back. I hope he gets a nice keyphrase like he did before when he summoned him. He is a mana 6/6 that resurrects all the skeletons that have died during the entire game. And any that don't fit on the board trigger their effect instantaneously. So you don't have to worry about board space, and there's going to be times where he summons 6 skeletons, and you're going to even have some extra skeletons, and you're going to go straight face damage. And even if he doesn't do straight face damage, if all he does is summon 6 skeletons along with him, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 damage that's sitting on the board. You summon him down on turn 8. You've got 12 damage that your opponent has to deal with. Yes, some of it can go to minions, but a lot of it's not going to. And it's not hard to have 6 skeletons die. A lot of the cards for this say summon a skeleton. This card by itself is going to make Skelly Mage. You're going to see I'm going at Skelly Mage right now, and it's going to be brought on the back of Calcazon, and even without Calcazon, there's a lot of other cards that are just going to make Skelly Mage fun to play. It might take down Mech Mage, but Mech Mage is still scary, so it's going to be a combination of do you play Skelly or do you play Mech? And that's kind of not a bad problem to have if you play Mage right now. Alright, those are the 10 cards for Mage and my ranking of them. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember, play for fun.